Welcome to the very first episode of Real Talk with REsimpli. I am Chenay Jordan here with my co-host Don Carlson, and we couldn't think of a better way to kick things off than by bringing on someone very special, the founder of REsimpli and our boss, Sharad Mehta. Sharad's not only built this company from the ground up, but he's also a seasoned real estate investor with years of experience and insight.
Yeah, thanks, Chenay. We're super excited to dive into his story, vision behind REsimpli, and like what's next for real estate investing world. Sharad, thanks for being here, man. And also, guys, if you find value and are getting something out of the show, please like and follow on YouTube and wherever else you're listening to the audio version. So you can see every time we drop an update with a new business owner and more tactical tips on how to make more money. So, Sharad, welcome to the podcast, man.
Awesome. Excited for us to kick this podcast off. I'm excited. Yeah.
Absolutely. No, there's going to be so many stories, so many applicable things that our listeners can use like right away. So super excited for that. But Sharad, let's get right into it, man. Like, how do you balance scaling REsimpli, growing a real estate portfolio, and have time to sleep, but also like manage a family as well, man?
I actually sleep pretty well. I'm in this Whoop group, and I think I'm leading in the sleep. Like I'm definitely like in top 10 percentile in the sleep. But how I manage it, so I own, of course, REsimpli. I own a property management company. We manage about 300, 350 units. I own rental properties that my property management company manages, and I own a house flipping business where we do about 30 flips or so. How I manage is like finding kind of people like you guys are doing, we wanted to do the podcast for such a long time. We were doing it a while ago. I started it, but then I'm like, you know what? This is not the best use of my time, or I'm not adding the most value. So I'm like, Shanae and Don will be way better at it. Same thing with my property management company, house flipping business. I found people that are way better at than I would ever be, and they manage the business. And then I just look at it from a very high level things and be involved in things that I actually enjoy doing and where I feel like I can add the most value.
Absolutely. That's, you brought up a super interesting point, and that I love studying business, love seeing like how people build big things. And that is it sounds like it's a common trait for lots of entrepreneurs in and outside of real estate. Your weaknesses and your strengths. So like, obviously that's something that a lot of entrepreneurs struggle with. Like they want to have control of everything. What were some like pivotal moments that was like, I have to relinquish control versus I need to do everything myself?
Um, I've actually never been much into I have to control it, this has to go through me. Like I just like to just make sure before, if it's something that's going to be public facing with anything we're doing, if it's going to have a big impact, that I just have a quick pass at it. But otherwise, if it's something that is not going to break the business or not going to have a huge negative impact, it might as well try it and just test it out. I've never been big into, oh, I got to control all the decisions. The important things that are going in the business, like I love being involved in the product side of it. So that's where I'll look at very, very minute things. Hey, let's change the font size. Let's change this word from that word. But on the marketing or the CS side, I just want to make sure on a very high level strategic side, I just kind of know which direction we're going in. And then the people that are actually doing the day to day, I trust them that they're going to do a much better job than I would.
So I think something, Sharad, that a lot of entrepreneurs do struggle with. I mean, obviously it's not something that you've struggled with, but we're a part of a lot of mastermind communities, and I talk to a lot of investors on the day to day. There are a lot of folks out there that really struggle with relinquishing that control. What advice would you have for them?
I think if you can find someone who can do the work that you need to do, 80% as well as you are doing, then you need to just let go of that and let the other person do that work. And then you got to ask yourself, okay, what is it in the business where I will add the most value? And then you have to look at it, okay, is it actually going to move the business forward? Let's say in REsimpli, let's say if I'm going to be the best at replying by chat tickets, for example. I could be absolutely the best at it ever in REsimpli, but is that going to move the business forward? Or I could just find someone who's going to be 80% as good, 90% as good, and just let them run with it. And then I can focus on things that are actually going to move the business forward.
So kind of that old adage of, the CEO level needs to be those revenue driving activities. If it's not a revenue
Absolutely.
driving activity, then just get your ego out of the way and find somebody that can do it sufficiently.
Yeah.
Maybe not as good as you, but sufficiently so that you
Yeah.
can focus on other things.
I literally have a tattoo on my arm that says ego is the enemy. So that's a constant reminder that, what we're building is bigger than any individual. So you just have to look at, okay, what is going to be the best in the best interest of the company, not in the best interest of an individual. So
You have a tattoo?
yeah, three.
Let's
three.
go.
Three. Yeah.
You just got him not too long ago.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, it's been like 5, 6 months now. I think I'm gonna get a couple of more. Yeah. I like that. It's funny, the other
told you
day.
you were gonna do that.
I know. The other
Get
day I was
matching
at,
tattoos. Just like
yeah. The other day
We're
I
all
was at
gonna get
F45 and
the
the
R with the house, the
oh
R
yeah.
with the house over it.
Oh yeah, I gotta get that. Yeah,
Yeah,
right
for
here.
sure.
Yeah, the
got
other day
that.
I was at F45 and the trainer comes over. It was like a little bit difficult exercise. Like, hey, don't let your ego, push you. I'm like, no, definitely not gonna let my ego. I literally have a tattoo on my arm that I'm not gonna, hurt myself pushing anything. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Can we back up a little bit and kind of go back to your beginning, Sharad? Because I think that, I know your story, but there's a lot of folks out there that don't, about like how you actually got started, first of all, in real estate investing, what industry you came from, what was the start of all of this?
Yeah. Yeah, so before I started real estate investing, I was in a very fun career of being an accountant. Yeah, I was
Watching
yeah,
paint dry.
yeah, watching paint dry.
You're the
I
most
love the con
you're the most
what's that?
interesting accountant I've ever met. So
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah, that's not saying much, but I'll take it. Yeah.
kill him with
Uh,
kindness.
yeah.
Sorry, go
I
ahead.
I love the company that I was working for. I love the people that I was working with, but I hated what I was doing. It's just there was no way I was gonna be there for a long time. Um, and around that, I come from an accounting background, so I've always been into personal finance. I would read blogs about personal finance, so I wanted to have financial independence. So I was reading a blog. In the blog comments, someone put a link to a book called Flip. I think it was from Gary Keller. I don't even know who the author was. I went and read that book. Then from there, Amazon recommended another book called Millionaire Real Estate Investor. So I read that. I'm like, okay, this is exactly what I want to do. I was born and brought up in India. I was 18 when I moved there. So real estate has always been an asset that people in India really gravitate towards. It's something tangible. So I looked into real estate. Then this is like 2008, 9 when I started doing the research, super active on Bigger Pockets back then. Bought my first property August 2010, 2 unit, and then just kind of started buying rental properties. And in between, I wanted to be a full-time poker player. Absolutely sucked at it. Like if I have pocket aces, you guys would know that, I'm gonna be like, let's go,
No,
let's
no,
go.
no.
Yeah,
Hold on a second. Don and I were
yeah,
talking about this before we hopped on, because you and I still have yet to play poker together, but I
yeah.
refuse to believe, with how even keel you are, that you don't have a poker face.
I
Like
mean,
I don't know about
I,
pro, but like, dude, I feel like you're sneaky, man. I feel like you could take my money, and I would
yeah,
know what
I
happened.
feel, I mean, this is like we're talking 15 years ago. Like running a business, dealing with everything has changed me a lot. But like, okay, just, but back then, if I had like pocket aces, like you would know that, like, I'm like, hey, oh, let's go. Why aren't you putting all your money in? Yeah, you would know immediately that I have something good.
Maybe since you've learned so much, maybe it's time to give poker another go, Sharad.
Yeah, add the
No.
property management company, the
Yeah.
SaaS company,
Yeah,
the flipping and wholesale. Let's add poker too.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
why not?
that's exactly.
Hire
Oh
a
man,
coach.
I would read books. Who's the guy who won in 2004? I think his name was like Moneymaker or something. He had like very poker n-
Oh,
name.
you were like into it,
Daniel,
into it.
not
Oh,
Daniel
no,
Negreanu.
no, not Daniel Nagai. Like this guy
I took his master
wrote,
class, side note, but
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. No, I would go read books. I would watch YouTube videos. Dude, I sucked at it. I absolutely sucked. I knew that wasn't my calling. That yeah, that wasn't what I was put on this earth to do. So I started buying rental properties, flipping houses, and then in August 2015, my wife ended up getting a job in Carlsbad, where we live now. So I moved from Chicago to Carlsbad. At that point, I was doing about 40, 50 flips a year and looked at my business. I'm like, oh, dude, I need a system. Like, I can't believe I was running this business without the system. So looked at back then, this is like 2015, everyone was pretty much using Podio. I logged in for like 2 minutes. I'm like, yeah, there's no way I'm going to use this. This just absolutely sucks. So looked at a couple of other software, then didn't find anything. Then 2016 or 17, hired a couple of developers to create something for myself, and it just kind of started growing from there.
Awesome. That's super cool, man. So with that background, I would love to dive deeper into like the real estate side of your business, because again, the entrepreneurship, real estate, like that's kind of the focus on who we're trying to serve with this podcast. So with your flipping and wholesaling arm of your business, like how does that work?
What do you mean?
Uh,
Like the
Well, I
like
think
how do
well,
I
you're
think
not
like how
making
do I manage?
calls. Yeah, you're not making calls. You're not really messing with marketing. Like how do you
Yeah.
have time to do everything else?
So my team for my real estate business is I have a project manager that lives an hour north of me in Corona, California, and she's been with me since I moved from Chicago to Carlsbad. I found her on Craigslist, and she used to live in Vista, which is like a town over. And her name is Claudia. I'm like, hey, Claudia, like I had home office. I'm like, hey, you should come and work from the office. We're local. She would come in 3 days a week. I'm like, just come in 2 days a week. And a week later, I'm like, just come in once a week. I'm like, you're doing a good job. Just work from home. And since then, she's been managing my flipping business. Um, yeah, and then I have a lead manager slash marketing manager, Jay. He's in Philippines. He's been with me for about 2 years now. Absolutely amazing guy. And we hired a local acquisition person, Jasmine, about 4 or 5 months ago now. And she does an appointment, goes in-person appointment. And that's how we manage. Last time I personally went to Indiana was about 5, 6 years ago. I don't even know the addresses of the properties we're flipping. I know the cities, I know the general area, but I connect with the team once a week now. I used to do every day. Then I realized that there wasn't nothing much for me to talk about every day. So we just jump on a call once a week. And this week we missed. It was supposed to be this early this morning, but I had another meeting. So, but we'll communicate through REsimpli. They'll message me, they'll call me if they need anything. But I just kind of know on the high level the money that we're putting into marketing, how much money we're making, what do we have going on, like in terms of number of deals and stuff. And that's all I feel like I need to know.
That's crazy, man.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I think the most fascinating thing about your business, Sharad, is the fact that not only are you remote, your team has been remote this entire time since 2015. When was your first
I
flip?
mean, 2010. But
2010.
2015 is when I moved from
When you moved.
Chicago
Okay,
to
so
when
since
I moved. Yeah.
2015, you've been remote. Your property manager's been remote. Like
The property manager is in Indiana. The project manager
I
is
mean
remote.
project manager, excuse me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
your
project
project
manager is
manager
no.
is remote. You run a very successful real estate business ultimately completely remotely, and your project manager's only been with you for 4 or 5 months.
No, the acquisition manager has been with us for 4 or 5 months. The project
Gotcha.
manager has been with 10 years. We just hired an acquisition person local acquisition person about 4 or 5 months ago. She's the one who's been with us for 4 or 5 months, but before that,
It's
everything was virtual. I mean, we hired her just to scale our business.
it's crazy. I mean, that's just
Yeah.
yeah.
So team makeup is project manager. You have a marketing manager handling all of your marketing, and
And
local
leads. So
and
he's lead slash marketing manager.
perfect, and then a local act manager to run the appointments
Perfect.
and get the deal signed.
Yeah.
Was project manager was the first hire, or
Yeah, she's been with me for 10 years now.
how are you doing? How are you doing acquisitions before you hired your act manager?
Um, I mean, when I hired Claudia, I mean, this is like 2015, you could still buy stuff from MLS. It was easier. It wasn't as competitive. You could do direct mail and then easily pick up deals. You could do off-market stuff, buy a bunch from agents. I've been buying off-market for last 5, 6 years. I'd say
Mm-hmm.
2019, 20. We were just doing everything virtual, but we realized it was actually Jay who suggested that, hey, we should look into hiring someone in person to go on an appointment because he said, we feel like we're losing out on some deals which we could have had because we're not local. So we hired Jasmine. She's the one who goes out on our appointments, and then we definitely noticed we're getting more deals with her going on in-person appointments.
What was the moment that you're like, because did you start like all on your own, like buying? Did you start in rentals, like from learning
I
from Bigger
started
Pockets?
rental. Yeah. Yeah. So I didn't buy, so I bought my first rental property 2010. I didn't like flip anything until 2014 or 15, I want to say,
Okay.
like
Mm-hmm.
a technical flip, and even then I got into flipping because I ended up buying this package of 20, 25 properties from a bank. And some of those I ended up selling to someone else, which I guess you would call wholesale now, which I didn't even know that's what I was doing. And some of them I kept as rentals, some I wholesale, and then there were a couple of properties which would not have made good rental, which nobody else wanted to buy. I'm like, oh, I guess I'll just buy it and flip them, and that's kind of how I got into flipping.
Gotcha, by accident. I love it.
Yeah, yeah,
um, Perfect. When you were talking about like your marketing managers and lead managers of VA, I would love to get your mindset for hiring VAs, because like the stigma around VAs is like they're not great. And now it's challenging to find good ones. Some, at least from what I hear, but you've
right.
obviously been able to build multiple businesses with great hires using VA. So maybe like, what's your hiring process and what's your system for that?
Yeah, I mean, Jay, I hired because someone else, actually one of our recently users was shutting down their business, or they were just doing some reorganization, and then
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, I'll hire this person, or I don't even know how I think he contacted me through the Facebook group or something, and I hired him, and he's been absolutely amazing, like just amazing guy, super proactive about, hey, let's do this, let's do that. Like we're doing all the PPL. He's like, I don't have to tell you, he's not wasting money. He's like, hey, just so you know, I got credit back on these 10 leads because they were listed on MLS. I'm fighting for this credit. So he's running it like his own business. He makes $10 an hour base plus he makes more on the profit on the deals. So he'll make about, I don't know, like 3,500 to 4,000 a month between base
Wow.
and the
Wow.
the bonus. But he runs the entire business. Like I'm not involved. He's doing marketing. He's doing everything. He just updates me if there's something that he needs. He'll call me on WhatsApp. Just get like, hey, Sharad, what do you think? Should we do this or not? The other day he sent me uh, a deal. It's like, hey, we just got this under contract. This is how much we're buying it for, and then we could put 20,000 into it. We'll make 30, 40 on it. I'm like, yeah, let's go for it. Um, yeah, so I mean, it's the challenge with finding VAs is they're in a different part of the world. There's going to be some challenges that you'll come across. They don't have, especially in Philippines, they don't have always the best infrastructure. If they have a weather-related issue like hurricane or something, they'll lose power. But Jay, for example, I pay for his Starlink internet just to make sure that he's always connected. So I'm like, hey, I'll pay for it. Just make sure you're always connected. And then the team in recently that we have about 30, 35 people now in this support team. So we pay for everyone's internet. backup internet just to make sure they're always connected. But then there's some other issues would happen, like they lose power, for example, for a day or two. So if you're willing to look past those things, I think there's like absolutely amazing hardworking people. Now there's certain situations where the VA or someone from overseas is not going to do as good of a job as someone in US would. Like for example, Don, what you're doing, like we were having someone in Philippines doing this. So we immediately noticed when we had someone in US doing that, especially comes from the same background, that's going to make a big difference. Like we could never even imagine someone like Chenay or a VA replacing what Chenay is doing. Like that, those kind of things, it's not possible, but something that needs to be done in the background. And then if you can have someone who's hardworking, the most important thing to look for is the person hardworking? I mean, are they willing to, even if they don't have the skills, are they willing to learn those things? Or do they show up with the right attitude? If they do, like that's all that matters. And then you can teach everything else that you need to teach that person.
For sure. And like initiative is something that you
You
can't
can.
always teach it.
No,
So like
I mean, you can never teach it. Like, how are you going to tell someone,
you can't.
hey, we need you to take initiative? Like, either, like, if you have to tell someone to take initiative, it just, like, that should tell you that person is not the right fit.
it defeats the
If
purpose.
someone, exactly, right, like, you can teach anybody any skill, but if the person is willing to show up and willing to say, hey, I'm willing to learn, then you want to invest in that person. But if someone has the best skill set, but they don't have the right attitude. Let's say, they show up late, they steal from the company. There's no coaching program or there's no training that you can have them, hey, can you go watch this training so you can stop stealing from the company? Like that's never going to happen. But you can have someone go through a training and say, like for example, Shanae, and she has the best attitude. But if you want her to, like, she doesn't come from real estate investing background, but if we really needed her to learn real estate investing, I could have
Oh,
her take a
yeah.
course. On the flip side, if she were the best real estate investor, but she was like, she came, late on meetings, she was just not showing up. I'm not going to say, hey, can you go take this training? They're going to teach you how to go, how to be honest, and I have to show up on time. Like, so that's
Can
what
you
you look
set an
for. I mean,
alarm?
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Go watch a YouTube video on how to set alarms, please.
yeah.
Oh, that's so funny.
And not snooze it.
And-
Yeah.
okay, that was low,
Yeah.
Sharad.
That sounds like a
Yeah.
personal dig that I know nothing
kind of
about, but
okay, so I
Yeah.
pressed snooze on my alarm to catch my flight home the other
You didn't
day,
press snooze.
and
You
I
canceled it.
I
You thought you
I
pressed
meant
snooze.
to press snooze. I didn't.
Yes.
I canceled my alarm, but hey, I still made my Uber ride on time, and I
Yeah.
still made my flight on time. So
at least you got in
there's
the right
that.
Uber.
There's that initiative right
Yeah.
there. I still
There
made
you
it
go.
happen.
Yeah.
Amazing. Perfect. No, that's awesome. Great. What do you think some good tasks for a VA to like, well, I'll set the scene. So like an investor doing 1 to 2 deals a month, looking to scale 4 to 5. What are some tasks that can be taken off the plate right away with a solid VA?
Definitely pulling lists, doing marketing. Like you could make the decision on what list to pull, but you should not be the one actually pulling the list. You could just say, hey, going to simply pull this list, or have this save filter, just do this, set up a reminder monthly to pull this list, mail them, call them, text them. Like those things can easily be done by a VA, like pulling a list, sending out direct mail. We don't do cold call in-house. We use a third-party company, Easy Button Leads. So he's the one who's coordinating with them. We use Bateman Collective for our PPC. He's the one who's coordinating. Like there's no need for me to do those things. Like where I get involved, where I add the values and make sure we have enough money to buy the deals that we need to buy. As long as I'm doing that, like the contractors that we work with, I've never talked, I shouldn't say never. I've not talked to any contractor in the last 6 or 7 years, like not even one. I know their name sometimes when I, log into REsimpli and I see where we're spent, how much money we spend on a project. I'll see their name, Miguel, or, actually, he's the only one who, I know his name. I don't know anybody else's name, but,
How do you
but there's
start?
this,
Or sorry, go ahead.
no, I was going to say, but there's no need for me to know who's working on that project. If Claudia's doing a good job and we're managing everything by the numbers, then that's all that matters.
what would you say like the first couple steps to getting to that? If you are super involved in your business, like what are some steps that you should take to like figure out what you need to delegate?
One easy thing should be it's not like Philippines VA, but definitely delegate your bookkeeping and accounting if you're still
Mm,
doing that. Like that should definitely be delegated. Then after that, list pulling, sending out direct mail, just making sure that you're staying on top of your marketing, and then keeping your CRM clean, like just someone who goes into REsimpli, keeps it clean, make sure every lead that you have is in the right status. You don't need to do that, but you need someone, like that's something that needs to be done, but it doesn't need to be you who's doing that.
That's great. No, great advice. Sharad, what was your most expensive lesson that you've learned?
Oh man. Um,
and
I
how much
bought
did
I
it
bought
cost you?
Don't
uh
cry on the podcast,
at
please.
least At least 50,000, at least 50,000. Yeah. On actual loss plus the opportunity cost, between opportunity cost and what the loss that we actually had, like maybe 75,000. So this was a property we generally buy in like 300 max 350 ARV range. And this is, we're talking 2019 is, or 2020, end of 2019, beginning 2020. We bought this deal. I remember because it was the COVID time. So we bought this deal. This was going to be for 500,000. We were going to put 50 into it. We were going to sell it for 700,000. Like, this is great. We'll make $100,000, easy money. So my agent, actually, who was my acquisition person slash agent back then, she brought this deal, and we're like, yeah, let's do it. So we bought it, no fault of ours. We bought it. COVID happened just for a brief period of time. Like market really dropped. Nobody wanted to buy, and then I had so much money invested into it. I think we were all in about 565, and then between all the interest money that we were paying, the opportunity cost, we ended up selling for 550,000. So that was a and this is 550 before any agent cost, closing cost. So it was a very tough lesson, but good education in the sense that, hey, just stay in your lane, just do what's working, and just keep doing more and more of what's working.
Amazing. I
Yeah.
was just about to ask what would you say the lesson would be there in, and I guess the key takeaway is the fact that it was a property outside of what your norm
Yeah.
was.
Yeah. I got
I,
greedy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got greedy. I started seeing like dollar signs everywhere, $100,000 easy profit. That was it. Yeah. I don't even know the address of the property. I just know it was in Dyer, Indiana, but that was it.
have you ever invested in a property at that price point since then?
No, not since then.
Not since then.
The most expensive flip I'd done before that, we sold for 525,000,
Okay.
which I had bought at an auction for 300, 350. I don't even remember, but that was in a partnership with someone. Um, yeah, so but after that, no, never. Like it's just if I were way more involved in the business, if I had like more time, just like really study the market, then maybe I would do that. But just if something is working, I don't have to be involved. I don't have to stress about it. It's well worth it for me.
That reminds me of one of the I bought a 6 unit. This is like in 2021. 6 unit in Indianapolis, and for the life of me, we could not figure that one out. We went through 5 property managers. Every time we went with a new one, they would sell their property management company, and then we'd get folded into some national
Oh,
property management company. And this happened like 3 times, 3 times. And we had a property management switch in the winter. So the new property manager didn't winterize it. The old one didn't. So I had like 50 leagues under the house. I mean, that one almost bankrupted us. Ended up selling
yeah,
it, cut our losses. But real estate, you could take some lumps. But I mean, Alex
right.
Ramosi says it best. Like if you don't lose if you don't quit. So,
Hey, that's my mantra. You only lose if you quit is what I like to say.
yep,
Yep.
absolutely.
Exactly.
Yep,
Exactly.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Um, Sharad, sorry, let me look. I'll edit this out a little bit. The camera thing threw me. Sharad, what marketing strategy works best for you for your like hands-off model?
Um, so the one that's been most consistent, the one that I've always used in my off market is direct mail. But lately we've been using more of PPL. We're doing motivated seller lead solo, and we just started with property leads. What I like about PPL is you can easily turn it on or off at any given time. Like
Yep.
there's no investment or long-term time commitment that you have to do, which is not the case with direct mail, or if you were doing PPC in-house, that you need to commit to at least 6 months. But with PPL providers, I told Jay, I'm like, hey, let's just put 10,000 in each of them. Let's compare the numbers, and whichever one is doing good, we'll just put more money into it. PPL we just started last week, but motivated sellers, the deal that I was just telling you guys about earlier, it came from motivated sellers.
That's awesome. Yeah, we've in our own business, my wife and I's business, like we've basically been strictly direct mail, done some cold calling, but yeah, that's one. It works, which is great, but yeah, you always have to do more than you think, and it's an absolute snowball. It's a machine, man. You got to
Yeah,
keep the machine fed, or else you go hungry.
absolutely.
Yeah, for
um,
sure.
awesome.
Sh- let's switch gears a little bit. I've got some fun questions for you, Sharad. But before that, I think there's one story that you haven't told, not necessarily real estate related, but it's always one of my favorites. I don't know if you know where I'm going with this one. Tell us about when you were in college filling out
Oh yeah,
applications for grants, because this
man,
is sheer gold, and I think the world needs to hear it one more time.
that was crazy. So this is like, I mean, you have to imagine, you have to put yourself in my shoes. I move here when I just turned 18. I move here from India. I moved to America. I'm filling out a college ethnicity form. And then I'm going down the list. I see Caucasians. I thought there was some kind of Asians that I'd never heard of. I see African American. I had no idea what it was. Then I see American Indian. I'm like, okay, that must be me. I'm in America. I'm from India. I checked that box. So, and then I saw Latinos, and there was like something else that I forgot. Uh, but so I checked that. Not only did I check, and I'm feeling super full of pride. And I'm thinking, dude, this country absolutely loves Indians. They have a separate checkbox for us, American Indians. They don't have American Chinese. They don't have American Japanese. They don't have American Koreans or whatever, but they have American Indian. I checked that. I didn't think anything of it. I just submitted it, and then I'm thinking, okay, right. I get a $5,000 check in the mail like a week or two later. It was like some sort of a scholarship. And I'm thinking, man, it's about this. How amazing can this country be? They they have a separate category for us. They recognize it. And not only that, they see how smart I am. I did pretty good on SAT math part, but English, I did pretty horrible. I'm like, okay, they recognize. I'm thinking like this is because how smart I am because of a decent score I had on SAT. So I did that. I didn't think much of it. And this is spring semester of 2020, no, 2001 is when I moved here. So I change college, I go to another college, and this time I'm filling out the same form in front of a college counselor. So I check the same thing, American Indian, and she's like, wait, you're American Indian? I'm like, duh, I'm from India, I'm in America.
I'm here.
Isn't that obvious? And then she corrected me, and then everything kind of made sense. I'm like, okay, yeah, now the scholarship sense thing makes sense. I'm not actually that smart, as smart as I thought. It's just I checked the wrong box, and that's why they gave me the check. But yeah, that
And
I
was,
that's how
I
you
don't know.
funded.
So
That's how you funded REsimpli. That's the
Yeah.
story.
exactly,
That's
that
how
was
we're
that
gonna
was the
spin it.
that was the seed money that went into starting recently. For good. So this was like January of 2000, and this was September. So from Jan to September, I thought I was American Indian. Yeah. For like 8 months, I thought I was American Indian.
Wow.
Yeah.
I
But
absolutely, I love that story. It never gets old every time I hear it. Fun fact, I actually am part American Indian. I'm part Cherokee,
yeah,
but
see, that's why you and I get along so well.
yeah,
You
because we're
know?
both American
Yeah.
Indian. I
Yeah,
mean, yeah,
exactly.
here it is.
I mean, I was American Indian for 8 months officially, so
Yeah,
at least
yeah.
according to
I
one college.
I mean, hats off to you though, honestly, Sharad, because I tried to get funding for my college education because of my American Indian background, but it's too far back in my heritage. It's like I think my fourth great
Oh,
grandmother.
Shanae, you
Yeah.
just
Uh,
had to check. You just
I
had
should
to
have
check a
just checked
box.
the,
You
yeah,
should have
should have
just
just
checked the
checked the
box. That's
box.
all. That's all it needed, Shanae. Come on.
ask
You couldn't
forgiveness,
even.
not permission.
That's right.
That's the
Exactly.
real lesson of entrepreneurship.
That's the
Ask for
real lesson right
Exactly.
there.
Exactly. Yeah.
and ego
Oh
is
my
the
God.
enemy.
Yeah.
Did they make you give the money back or anything, Sharad?
No, they still think I'm American Indian. I changed college. Yeah.
Oh man, that's
Oh
amazing.
my gosh, I love that.
Thank you, Shanae, for bringing that up.
I
I
knew
did not
you'd
know that.
like
That's
that one,
fantastic.
Don. Because I was
Yeah.
like, I couldn't give that one away in
They
pre-production.
probably have me in some sort of wall of fame somewhere, like they probably say, we have the only Indian who is an American Indian go to our college. So they're probably celebrating, something. Yeah,
To
they
this
they
You're,
day,
in
you're
they're
their
gonna
record.
erect a
Sharad.
statue in your honor at some
Sharad,
point.
Yeah.
you are part of an alumni pitch. I guarantee
Yeah,
it.
Yeah.
exactly. Exactly.
I love it.
Exactly. So that's when Shanae applied for a job. We just rejected every single resume. She's got to go. She's got to get the job. She's got to
Yeah.
get the job. Like we got to have some more American Indians in this company. Yeah.
Diversity hire.
Dude,
Yeah.
diversity. I used to just, Shanae was the only, like up until we hired you or
Yes.
Nick. Yeah. Like
Yeah. Nick
she was the
first. Yeah.
only
Nick first.
white person in our entire company
Yeah.
serving
Yeah.
our customers in the US. That was pretty crazy.
Yeah. I'm
So
still the
she
only
was
white.
here.
I'm
Yeah,
still the token white girl though. So
yeah.
Then
yeah.
I came
So
along.
Yeah.
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 I have so many jokes that I can't say right now because I don't want to get canceled on our first episode. Like we're a real estate podcast. Oh my gosh.
I think it's pretty hard to get canceled in our space, which is good news for all of us and for our future guests, to be quite honest. But
That's why it's called Real Talk, guys.
it's real talk
Yeah.
right here, right here.
I
Speaking
love
of
it.
real talk, Sharad, this is a question that Don came up with that I think is just a brilliant one. But I'll take credit and ask it. What book are you reading right now? And what's your like what book? Okay, I guess two questions. What book are you reading right now? And what would be a book that you would recommend to anybody listening or watching this podcast that's just getting started in this space to read?
The book that I'm reading right now is Bill Gates' autobiography. It's a really
Oh,
good book. It's
okay.
actually really good. Um, the book I would recommend for someone starting out, uh, I actually haven't read a real estate book in a long time. I don't even remember the last time I read a real estate book. But the one that kind of helped me systemize my business, I would say, is Michael Gerber's E-Myth Revisited. I think that's a class. Like it's going to help you across any type of investing that you're doing. That's the one that I would go back to. And that's kind of what influenced how I started running my business, that influenced how kind of I started running things with REsimpli. So that's the one that I would say across any real estate investing type, a book that you would want to read.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably one of my personal biggest takeaways from any time that we talk, Sharad, about your businesses is just how the systems and processes are so incredibly dialed in that that's what allows you to step back from them and only work an hour, with the exception of REsimpli, but work an hour or so in each one. And I suspect that anybody that's listening to this, that's something that they're going to be like, damn, how do I do that? How do I get my business running with such dialed in systems and processes so that I can go do
But
whatever I want for the rest of my life.
if you flip the question around and said, okay, I can only work an hour in my business, what needs to be true for me to only be able to work an hour in my business? Then you would be creative versus if you say, oh my God, I have so much to do, how can I squeeze that? Versus if you said, okay, I can only be in my business, I can only be part of my business for an hour a day. What needs to be true for that to happen? Then you'd get some creative ideas. Then you
Mindset.
would start thinking about, okay, I don't really need to do this. Like, do I have to, do the podcast? Do I have to go on every single event that we have? Do I have to talk to every single vendor that I have? Then you can say, all right, what is the best ROI of my time for that 1 hour that I'm going to spend in the business, or however much time you're going to spend in the business?
I love that. I love that. If you could buy a property anywhere in the world, where would it be?
The one that I'm living in.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I live in Carlsbad. I cannot even see any cloud out there. Like I would not want to live anywhere else in the world than Carlsbad, where I live.
Okay. I
That's
mean,
Yeah,
amazing. I mean, dude,
yeah,
the beach. So I actually grew up in Chicago. I'm originally from there too. So like, I understand. I'm a beach guy
yeah.
too. It's no Southern California. I was crazy enough to move to Maui though, even further west. So I'm spoiled.
No, I mean California. I mean Hawaii is beautiful, but it's just so disconnected.
yeah.
I mean, I would not want to live anywhere else. But even the neighborhood that I live in, dude, I just like 90% of the time, I don't even leave the neighborhood that I'm in. Like the F45 is right down the street. Chase Bank is right down the street. Like there's nothing that I need to leave the neighborhood for. So
How many
yeah.
times a week do you actually get in the car and drive somewhere, Sharad?
Uh, like out of the neighborhood, like sometimes I'll go drive to F45. Like this afternoon when I worked out, I drove to F45. But um,
What is that 45? Is that a gym?
you, yeah, you don't know
No.
F45?
We don't have
Ah,
them in the Inland Empire.
oh really?
It's a
Mm-mm.
Oh,
San Diego
it's
thing, man. You CrossFit? Is that
it's sort of like a CrossFit. It's not extreme CrossFit, but it's like a I don't know. It's I've never done CrossFit, but I've heard other people say it's like a 45-minute workout. It's pretty good. I like it. In and out in 45 minutes, but I would say once a week. Yeah, I'll actually leave the neighborhood. Then I'll go out of the neighborhood.
I,
This is why you don't want to have lunch with me more often because you'll actually have to get in the car and drive someplace.
Yeah, when you sent me a lunch invite, I'm like, can we just talk on the phone? Yeah.
like I'll
What we?
get DoorDash and we'll just Zoom. You get your own food and
Yeah,
I'll send you
exactly.
DoorDash. Like I'll
Yeah,
buy your lunch. Like, but I
yeah.
don't want to leave. I just want to point out how funny it was. You said I'm close to my gym and close to Chase Bank. Like,
Yeah.
I
so
didn't
that's
catch
that's
that.
how much money Sharad is making, guys. And so listen to what he's
No,
saying.
no, 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 no. The Chase Bank. I'll tell you, the Chase Bank is we have a nanny for our kids. So every other week, I have to go to the bank to withdraw cash. So after this call, that's where I'm going to withdraw cash. So that's why Chase Bank. Yeah,
For his
it's
nanny,
for
folks. For
yeah,
his
yeah,
nanny. Yeah.
yeah.
Thought it was depositing
So
fat checks from his 100% hands-off wholesaling business.
Right.
yeah.
Save that wire fee.
Sharad, would you consider yourself a morning person or a night owl?
Um, I don't know.
Or a
I
permanently
actually
exhausted pigeon? No, I'm just kidding.
no. I don't drink any caffeine. I don't drink any coffee. So I feel like the afternoons are the most productive time for me. Usually I'll have my afternoon after 1 o'clock be blocked because I have to take calls with my team in the morning, and then I take calls like 9 p.m. to about 10:30 with my team in India. So I'll go to bed, I'll read, I'll go to bed, then I'll get up 7, take some calls, have my meetings stacked in the first half of the day, but after 1 o'clock, it's just, things that I need to work on. So I'll have my afternoons. So I'd say I'm more afternoon person.
Yeah.
It sounds like your schedule is pretty structured. Like do you have like a time blocking system or like how do you manage
I
your
do.
schedule?
Yeah, I'll basically
Yeah,
block
her name's
time. I'll
Kim.
wrote
No,
down.
I'm just
Yeah. I'll just put it in my notebook what I need to work on and then just kind of work on that, go through that. I'll switch off my phone. I mean, you see my Slack messages. Hey, I have my phone switched off. Just if you need me, call me on my flip phone. So that's kind of what I'll do.
You have a flip phone?
I do. Yeah, the number that I sent you, that's for a flip phone.
That's that's a pro tip
Yeah,
right there.
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
this right here.
Is it a razor?
Uh, no, it's a cheap. I don't even know. TCL.
That's super. And
Dude, I went to Verizon, and this is like I went to Verizon and I said I need a flip phone. They're like, what?
crickets down the street, sir.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I went to Verizon. I said I need a flip phone. They didn't even have any. So I bought this from Amazon. I don't know, it's like 50, $60. And I called them and they said, I called Spectrum. We have internet through Spectrum. So I called them. I said, hey, can I add another line? Because with the internet, they give a pretty inexpensive line, but I don't need a smartphone. They're like, they basically said, you're crazy, just don't call us. So I went to Verizon and then I had to buy my own flip phone for that.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah.
amazing.
Oh, Sharad, what is the weirdest real estate trend that you think you've ever seen thus far?
Oh, I'm not on social media, so it's kind of hard for me to say like what's trending. But what I see people like trying new things, reverse wholesaling, or, I mean, there's like coaches out there that will teach new thing that, oh, you could make so much money doing this or that. It's like fundamentals. It's just I don't know. I people try to make it too complicated. To me, it's hey, you want to lose weight, you gotta go to gym, you gotta eat healthy. That's pretty much it. There's like nothing else more complicated to it. But when people make it more complicated, oh, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, I think that's where I lose out. If someone said, hey, this is very straightforward, but you gotta just stick with it, then I get it. I feel like that's my superpower is like I can stick with something long enough. But when people say, oh, this is like new tactic, new strategy that you can try reverse wholesaling or whatever it is, like new thing that's in the market, like I lose interest in that.
Absolutely. I've heard Brandon Turner talk about the bridge analogy. Like every newsflash, every exit strategy does work. It just takes time and effort. And like that analogy is like you build every exit strategy or is a bridge. And like the longer that you spend time doing that one thing, the better you get and you're building the bridge. But if you start and stop with each of the different exit strategies, you have like 5 bridges that are like just started to build. So it's a good like visual analogy. So it sounds like you have
I
two
agree.
bridges, wholesaling and flipping. You've built those suckers all the way to kingdom come.
I
Don, why
should say
don't you take us home?
I
What
didn't
should the
even
folks
build
that
it.
are listening?
I was gonna say I didn't even build
You
those bridges.
delegated the bridge building.
I just I funded the construction
You
of
just
those bridges. That's what I did. That was my
amazing.
contribution.
That's
Yeah.
that's amazing. You were Caltrans and
Yeah.
Yeah.
but way more efficient.
I was going to say a little bit more efficient than Caltrans because I think
Way
that
more
91 is
efficient.
still under construction. But Don, you want to take us home
But
for what people should be like? What's the biggest takeaway you think you want people to get out of this?
absolutely. I mean, just from I'm a 2-man show or 3-man. I have an acquisitions agent. My wife and I we run our wholesaling and flipping business
Oh, I
too.
thought you were
So some
talking about the
takeaways that I'm
baby.
going to implement in my own business is just taking a. Oh, but besides, if everyone probably doesn't know, I just had a newborn. So like, um,
And he's already put to work. He's doing
uh,
all the acquisition side of the business.
Yeah.
oh shit, straight right back to work.
Good.
Hey, beauty about being remote though. But some takeaways that like I think I'll apply in my own business and for our listeners I think would be great for them to apply too is like time blocking. Find that mindset shift of if I have 1 hour to hit the most important things in my business, like what is it? It takes a lot of the clutter. You don't need to set up your LLC. You don't need to tweak your website copy. It's like you need to talk to people and you need to get contracts signed. Um, so, and then for the another key takeaway, the delegation too, and like the different team members. Um, flipping, starting with a project manager. If you're wholesaling, getting that marketing manager and acquisitions on lock, so you can just do the things that matter in your business.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did I miss anything, Sharad? Anything else you want to tell the people?
Yeah, cool. No, I think that's pretty good. Yeah, just as long as you have the
You're
bigger
not going to tell
picture in
them out
mind,
there to
kind of.
do cold plunges?
No, I don't do those anymore. It just I had to leave my neighborhood for that, so I stopped doing it.
You
Yeah.
start and stop those, I feel like, all
It
the
was like
time.
honestly 7, 8 minute drive. If it were just in the same neighborhood that I'm living in, I would do it, but I'm spoiled. I'm spoiled. Yeah. Uh
I think you've
no.
earned it.
I
You
I
have
ex
earned it.
No, it's not an I accept what I'm good at. I also accept what I am not good. Like I'm not going to commit to something where it's going to take me, it just sounds like a really first world problem that I have to drive 7 minutes to go to cold plunge versus 2 minutes. So, but it wasn't adding much value. So, but no, I mean, if you keep the bigger picture in mind of what you need to do, one thing, like looking back, that if I could change would be actually a couple of things. I would join a mastermind or work with a coach sooner, and then I would set up a bigger goal for myself than uh, kind of what I had when I started out. I didn't think REsimpli would be where it's at now. I didn't think I would do as many deals in real estate as I've done. So I think just starting out with a bigger goal and then believing that it's possible will just make things much easier.
That's great advice. Great advice. If people want to get in touch with you, Sharad, where should they look?
Shanay at REsimpli.com.
Okay, where can people find out more about you and just see what you got going on?
Email would be the best way, Sharad at REsimpli.com. I'm not on any, Facebook or um, social media platform, so that would be the best.
Also, follow our social media on REsimpli on
Yes,
Instagram.
yes, do that.
That would be a
Edit
great.
this, do that.
Chenay and I answer all of our DMs. And then if there's anything important that we'll tell Sharad, we'll tell Sharad.
Yeah,
If you think this video or audio is valuable, guys, and you're taking some of the stuff to action in your own business, please like, share it, subscribe, and get ready for a lot of awesome guests and different ways to help you make more money in your real estate business.
Thank you, Sharad.
Thank you, Sharad, guys. And this is Don, Chenay, and Sharad signing off.